Listen in to part 2 of Seditious Sirens to hear more angry, free, violent women talk about their feelings.
Listen into part 2 if you want to know how high we actually got.
Welcome to Seditious Sirens, episode 3, part 2, which is really episode 4 because it's a bonus episode with
It is.
Ellen Ball,
Yeah.
who's freaking
I'm
awesome
here.
and sexy.
Thank you.
Look at her.
That's so nice.
Just all the sexiness. It's all you
oh
on
my
the
goodness. I must
camera. Blow
look
him a
beautiful.
kiss. Blow him a kiss.
I don't.
What the fuck was
Well,
that?
what? That wasn't a kiss.
That was
God
pathetic.
damn it.
What am
I'll
I
blow
gonna
you a
do?
kiss for her, people.
Like the
And
stereotypical
this
response.
is your rebel mistress. So, I blew you a kiss
Thank
for
Oh
you.
my
You
god,
made
we're
up for
so
both of us.
vain.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
fine.
Fuck.
I did not.
I love
pick
our
the,
vein.
The lily
This
from
is
the
our
river.
drunk and high episode.
Oh yeah, so we're
Yay.
like chain smoking and drinking Smirnoff,
And
strawberry
I-
Bellini. We
yeah.
are like disgusting girls right now.
I apologize right now
The
for anything that I
estrogen.
might say. That I'll regret later.
See, there's no regrets
The
in this life.
estrogen and the drugs in here.
None
Oh
at all.
my god.
I know we're like swimming in a sea of estrogen right
So
now.
when we left off, we were talking about feminism.
We
and
were.
how you don't have to be
We were
a
in
dick.
sync there.
You don't have a
Like,
dick
on
about
cue.
being a vagina. You don't have to be a dick about having a vagina. That's basically what we're
Some
talking
people
about.
feel like that though. Some people like have penis envy. Like
Guys, should I
This is a
name
real
this
thing.
show? You don't have to be a dick about having a vagina.
yeah. Like I'm not gonna shove it in people's faces. You know?
Could you though? I
That would
wouldn't
be
mind.
inappropriate, first of all. But
It-
like,
Inappropriate.
Define inappropriate. Shire is gonna use this content.
Kylie Jenner.
ShireDude.com.
Inappropriate.
Second plug. And also tune into the Rebel Love Show. It's a once a week broadcast. It's a once a week
It's a classy broadcast.
out of Manchester, New Hampshire.
Broadcast.
So listen to that, and like we've been doing a great job with our shameless self promotions.
yeah,
So,
we've been
if
really
you
well. We're
want
being shameless.
us-
Period.
Exactly. If you want us to promote you, just let us know. And our Bitcoin address is attached at the end of this video if you want to send us gracious donations so that we can make a podcast.
We have a Bitcoin now.
and you're powerful women, which is great because there's not many
Yeah.
of those.
There's not many. We're
Yeah.
like the last of a dying breed up in this bitch.
Yeah,
We are.
you gotta rise the rebellion once more.
Philosophical liberations, man.
Yeah, what
I don't
she
know if that
said.
was on the mic. Philosophical liberations.
Philosoph-
Those are the best kinds.
Of the mind.
Are we making any sense right now?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think so. Noah
Yeah.
says no.
We are coherent, I think.
Not even a little bit.
Okay, so back to feminism. Anyway, like editing is fucking awesome. Like we should talk about the singularity because I can crop all this shit out. And
You
want to
talk about the
What
singularity?
is the singularity?
Oh my God.
You don't know what the
I love you.
singularity?
Thank you.
It's a rapture of the mind.
What?
A rapture of the nerves.
Should we explain this now?
Of the
Yes,
nerves.
do
Well,
t-
let me get.
Pray
more.
tell. Oh, great. So everyone's like chugging their fucking
I-
Smirnoff and
I
hitting
can't
the
pray
bowl.
tell, but you have to go to Jason Silva, another plug. Jason Silva on YouTube and just type in the singularity. He explains it so wonderfully. And I advise you to get baked and watch this. Like, and when you watch this show, I advise you to get baked and watch this.
It blows your mind.
It blows your mind, and we blow minds.
Dude, it's just a bunch of fuckery.
No, it is.
Get baked
It is
and
a real
listen to
thing.
some fuckery.
Okay,
No,
so
it's just-
human
it's the
brains.
truth.
What makes some sense
Okay,
out of
listen.
this for me
Okay,
right now?
so human brains are set up the same way that like computer chips are, where they're just neurons like sending information to each other. So our brain has a huge capacity for memory, whereas computer chips have only reached like a tiny portion of that.
Yeah.
So like in the future, we're getting closer and closer every year. Like it goes up exponentially how much computer chips can hold now. So it's like eventually the machines and the electronics that are using these brains are going to get so intelligent that they reach the intelligence of humans,
And
where they can pull off being humans.
And
Oh,
we've reached
shit.
the next level of evolution, basically.
Yes, because then they start designing themselves and like making themselves
And the
better.
world
Holy
becomes infinite. And that's a world where you can never die. It's a world where you can never want for anything because you could have everything.
Sounds like a
it's-
sci-fi movie, except like way creepier because
It
it'll be real
is.
life.
It is. Should I go into the sci-fi movies? I'm
Oh
a nerd.
shit!
No.
So-
Okay.
Please?
I'm just-
Oh
go
come
for
on,
it.
let her
I'm
have her
just kidding.
fun.
I'm just kidding.
So I've talked about this before, but like Isaac Asimov is one of my favorite people, one of my favorite authors. He was like a human dictionary of his time, and
Wow.
he wrote so many short stories when, like while he was still alive. And one of them actually inspired the movie I, Robot. And I don't know if you've seen that, but like
Nope, I am not a cinemaphile.
I've
Oh
seen
my gosh.
iRobot.
in it explains the 3 laws of robotics, where there's like they have to obey orders, they can't allow people to come to harm, and they can't allow the laws to come into conflict with each other, something like that. But then I watched this other movie just last week where it explained it so much better, where it's like instead of those 3 laws, machines are going to get the laws like you can't harm humans and you can't modify other robots. So like they're stuck at the same intelligence level forever. And there's like some freak robots that are made that don't have this limit, so they're just like creating robots that are more intelligent than themselves. And like I think that's really what's going to happen. And like a lot of people are afraid of humans being like killed out, like led to extinction at that point. But why would they have an interest in killing us? Like if we can just not.
Yeah,
You know,
like, what
destroy
would be the
them.
reason
Yeah.
for that? They want you to think that is evil because for some reason, some people don't want the world to advance. They just want to keep everything like it is.
Yeah, like even trees change, you know, like
Yeah.
everything has to change. And even in the past 15 years, it's changed dramatically as compared to the past 3,000 years.
That's why so many people are buying into the singularity because it explains a lot. Like if you think about it logically, technology is advancing at such a rate that why would that not happen? Like it's gonna
Exactly.
be, we already build the world in our image. Like if you think about it, we project what we see in our minds into reality.
And
our
we're
raw materials.
also trying to solve mysteries about ourselves that we don't understand. Like there's so many things in the brain that we don't understand, and we want to make, you know, machines that can help us get those answers. So they have to have like this high capacity. For
And as technology
intelligence.
advances, we do. Because you have to think about it. You can, even 2-year-olds can use iPads now. In 10 years,
Oh my
that'll
God,
be
that's crazy.
that'll be ancient history.
Honestly,
They'll be like, you use the iPad?
can we talk
Like,
about
is that a
Honestly,
block phone? Like, that is what that'll be like. So why could you not see the singularity? That's why so many people can envision that we, like, increase technology to such a level where it takes over and we reach a new level of evolution.
honestly, I
Yeah,
kind of
we
hate
are-
that though. Like the fact that 2-year-olds can use iPads.
you
like-
feel like you missed out, right? Like if
No,
only
no,
I'd been
not
born
really.
Later.
I was like, dude, I was reading books when I was 2.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, books and watching Mr. Rogers. By the way, can we talk about how much I love
Oh
Mr.
my
Rogers?
God, you're such a creep.
Fuck
Watching
you.
Mr. Rogers,
Fuck
I'm
you.
gonna call you out.
I used
Call
to
me
watch
out.
it too.
Call me out.
You fucking
I dare you to
creepy
call me out right now because
person.
Mr. Rogers was a fucking
Just like all up
shit.
in Mr. Rogers. Like,
Dude, Mr.
all your
Rogers was my
Facebook
favorite
and
fucking
Mr.
neighbor.
I love
Rogers.
Steve from Blue's Clues, okay? He was
Fuck
my
Steve.
first
Okay,
crush.
Steve is my. I'm constantly like, okay.
Well,
No,
he
no,
had
no,
the
no.
thinking chair. Think.
What about
Think-
like
yes, yes.
No,
I mean,
like
I guess that
Pee-wee
encourages
Herman.
critical thinking, but no,
I
no,
love
no,
the
no.
dinosaurs. The pterodactyl.
Land Before Time, Ducky.
Oh, I love the Land Before Time
Fuck
too.
yeah.
But we're talking about Pee Wee
Like,
Herman.
No,
But
we are
this is-
talking about
no,
Mr. Rogers
Renee,
right now
you
because Mr.
aren't
Rogers
seeing
was our
into the-
favorite neighbor, man.
You gotta see into the future. Like like reading is important, but like when these kids are born, when our kids are born, like they'll be able to like inject that knowledge into themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They
I
won't
feel
even need that.
Well, the theory
I feel like
is
it's kind
that
of going
like,
downhill, though.
people are going to start like putting so much information into machines that like their whole identity will be in the machine, and eventually you'll be able to like link up your brain to it.
That's a
like
little
download the
freaky.
information from your brain onto the machine.
Like I definitely agree. Like
And you can definitely do information transfer. Like they've done that where you can take information from brain cells and transfer it onto a memory card. Like it's weird. It's amazing.
technology is just
cool this
advancing like
is.
that
Yeah.
way, and you just got to look at it from a more accepting perspective. Like this will be a world with unlimited resources, and then you have to think what comes after that. The only answer is like it's a new
Space
state.
exploration.
That's scary, man. That
Yeah,
freaks me
I
out.
mean, breaking new frontiers are always scary.
Yeah.
But like, it has to be done if you want to advance and survive. Like you can either
I guess
thrive
so,
or die
but-
out. Like those are your two choices.
Yeah.
Like we're still animals essentially. Like we still have to have resources.
Yeah.
You know, so
And we're always going to keep asking ourselves, like, why? Like asking ourselves these questions that we have to figure out. And technology will help us answer those questions. That's why there's so much space exploration. Like, people want to know, like, they're trying to answer that question of why that they can't answer. Like, it's...
yeah, and they've already identified like possible other planets that are like Earth. So eventually, you know, if somebody can develop the technology where you can like cryogenically freeze yourself for this 1,000-year trip,
Yeah.
that you could like plant some and like I saw the movie Interstellar not too long ago.
Oh,
It was
okay.
exactly that, and it was fucking amazing. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Like sending people out to these distant planets in different galaxies
Yeah.
and just like collecting data for years, and like it involved aliens from the fourth dimension and all this stuff, but like according to physics this is supposedly possible that you can like go through a wormhole and
See,
go to different galaxies
I saw Guardians of the Galaxy.
I think that counts. But I
or
definitely...
Star Wars.
I definitely agree with Renee. I feel like times are so different now that it's just you can't recognize it. You know that something is gonna happen though. Like I can bet all of you out there feel like something is going to change and relatively, if not soon, in the next
Yes.
couple decades. You have to feel that way. You have to feel like life is changing at such a rate where you can't recognize it anymore.
Right, because if you don't have that optimism, then what's the point in living? Like, why are you gonna
Exactly.
carry on?
Exactly. But I can't wait for the apocalypse. Like, I wish the zombie apocalypse would happen. Because, like,
What?
Fuck no. Fuck
I
no.
even feel
Fuck
like
no.
it now.
No.
Like,
No.
every
No.
day I go
No.
to school, I'm just like, I wish the zombie apocalypse would happen. Because
No.
no one's going to need fucking business management in the zombie apocalypse. You know? It'll be all, like, skills.
Yeah, but are you
Oh
gonna
my
have the
God.
skills?
Yes,
when the zombie
because I've been
Fuck
watching
no.
The Walking Dead. I'm just kidding.
Jesus Christ.
I saw a
No, but-
season or two of that, and yeah, I think I've
So
got the
did I.
skills too.
No. No.
You just have to
I
stay
don't
in
know.
the know.
I don't
No,
know
no,
if
no,
it's
no, no, no.
something about the happiness in my life or just like what I see every day. Like, I just don't feel like it's gonna stay this way. I feel like something's gonna change, whether it's technology making that change, the government being so out of line that the people revolt against it, which, you know, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Would you take part though? Like, what if?
Not in a
Do you
violent
remember
revolution,
earlier-
but in revolution, yes.
Okay, so like, do you remember last year in July when Adam Kokesh was gonna have that march on Washington with all the guns?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like. Did you guys think about going? Were you like, oh, we're gonna go carry guns at the Capitol?
Oh, I totally would have had it not been canceled, and then.
Oh,
he
like, did
it
you have
by
plans to go
himself.
though?
I-
Like,
I
it's
No, of
easy to
course I
say-
didn't have
I
plans
didn't-
to go, but I was like, I totally would.
I didn't
could.
know about that, but I engage in a lot of civil disobedience. Like, I do that. That's what I do. I go to school sucks. I go to cop blocking. I engage in a lot of that. So
Yeah, and
something
that's
like that
awesome.
to me would be great to go to because I do not believe in this system at all. And I have no problem going somewhere where I could potentially be put in a cage because I want to make that statement that I don't give a fuck. Like, what kind of violence you're imposing against me, I stand for this because this is something I believe in. So I believe in doing civil disobedience, but I believe in doing it peacefully. That's the other thing. Like, I definitely believe in guns. Like, that definitely goes back to feminism. I definitely believe that I will never be a victim because I know how to defend myself.
Right.
Though I've only taken one gun class, but, you know.
Well, that's awesome for you, and maybe you're taking the more brave approach because I just live by the philosophy, you know, that like I'm going to try and keep myself out of danger while ignoring the government as much as possible, because what good am I going to be if I'm in jail or, if I'm incapable of defending myself in this situation?
With the connotation that feminism has now, I would rather refer to it as equalism.
It's just basic human rights. Am I right? Like, it's just about being equal. And it's not about genders and, like, the differences between them. It's just, having the same playing field.
I feel like feminism nowadays has, like, a bad vibe to it, Like, I wouldn't refer to myself as a feminist.
Because so many feminists now they're, like, positive rights feminists.
And they make us out to be victims.
Exactly.
Like, we discussed this on the ladies panel a little bit at convention. Like, I'm not a victim, man. If I'm a victim of some kind of inequality that I've suffered, whatever, I'll speak up, Like,
yeah, this is my problem, the same problem I have with any other movement, even if it's not feminism, if it's atheism, if it's libertarianism, if it's anything that you believe in that you think that you have to oppress anybody else because that is your belief. I have a problem with that. And then that's what I see feminists as. Like, that's what they're doing. They're attacking people in the streets for wearing shirts with naked women on them. Like, that is what they're doing. Like, that is not proving your point. That is committing violence against another human being because they don't necessarily see something the way you see it. And I have a problem with anything that does that, any movement that is promoting that.
Yeah, because think of how anxious men are now to, like, talk to women. It's such a huge deal. They get really nervous, or they won't do it. Or, like, if they catcall you, like we were talking about in that video, like, if you respond to that, they'll just be like, well, you must be desperate if you responded to a catcall. Or, like, what is wrong with you? Did your father not give you enough attention? Stuff like that. It's like, they
daddy issue.
You can't.
Ooh, low blow.
It's just this weird, generally accepted idea that, like, I don't know, you have to be appropriate at all times, and if you're not,
Fuck
then you
that.
have
Fucking suck a
you
dick.
can suffer
Huge
the
dick.
threat of, like, being sued for sexual harassment or something.
I'm sorry.
It's
You
like
must have
anything.
mistaken me for someone who looks like they give a fuck.
Like, and that's what I mean. Like I said, like, I do really appreciate the school that I went to, like the first college I went to. Like, it taught us about, like, women in the workplace, and one of the stories, like, that a teacher told was that a woman was like suing some guy for sexual harassment, and she won like $20,000, and then she got mad because she was like, is my life worth $20,000? Like, is this what you're saying? Like, it's just like they put a number on it. Like, they were like, oh, like, he's
So she
sexually
wanted a
harassed-
lot more, is what you're saying.
No, she didn't. She was like, that is the problem with feminism. Like, she didn't even want to press charges at first. And then they, like, talked her into it. And then she was like, that is the problem with it. Like, they're not saying that this is wrong. They're just putting a dollar sign on it and saying, how much can I shut you up?
Yeah, that's true. It's just, money to shove down your throat, basically. Like,
Basically.
don't talk about it, and here's all this money.
And here's all this money. Like,
It's like
so
bribing
it's just
people.
like, even if I don't believe in, like, what feminism stands for, like, if I stand up for myself, like, it's showing what, like, the government believes, like, that you're nothing more than a number sign that they can buy to shut you up.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're so distant from the general populace that, like, how else are they going to identify you except for how much you're worth?
Well, to them, you are property. You're
Yeah.
no more than
Yeah.
property,
Exactly.
which is a problem.
Yeah, it's sadly true. Like, I hate giving my social security number for everything, and I hate that the taxes are taken out, because, like, I know it's not going to be around forever. I don't
Oh
want to
yeah,
pay
Social
that.
Security is gonna be done by the time
Yeah, it's like-
we're
it's
gonna
a
go to
Ponzi
claim it or
scheme.
whatever.
And
That's
I'm
what I'm
so
saying.
fucking
Social Security is a
excited to get
Ponzi
my
scheme.
tax returns this year, because it's like all that money that's just been automatically taken throughout the year that I didn't even get to see. I'm just finally, like, getting
But your
back.
roads.
I have
They
a
built
great
you roads,
I have
man.
a great story for this. So I worked somewhere
You
for
did?
one fucking day because I got let go, if you will. I don't know what I did or what happened.
You really don't know? Is it like a total mystery?
I suspect that she was not a liberty-minded person and found out that I was affiliated with the FSP or Free Keene or whatever and fired me for that reason.
After one day?
That's
After one
bullshit.
fucking day. After one day, man. I showed up the next day for work, like, ready. What could I have done wrong working one day for, like, 3 hours? I have
Maybe
no
she
idea.
thought you stole money. I don't know.
No, I didn't. One, I didn't have the opportunity. And two, I was watching people make sandwiches the whole fucking day.
I've heard that it's just, like, a lot of bad stigma, especially to people in, like, your prospective towns and cities that hear about, like, the Free State Project or Free Keen, and they're thinking that it's a negative thing, and they're, like, terminating you because of it. I've heard several people have gotten fired for saying, like, they're a member of the Free State Project.
Wow.
Well,
I mean,
some
it
people
is
aren't
harsh
ready for that
judgment.
shit. But anyways,
I know people that do fucking hate free keeners with a passion.
yeah,
And
stop
it's like,
freaking.
what is wrong with you if you're spending your entire life just focusing on these people you hate? Like, aren't you
And, like, you hate them because they want more for your, like, your life. Like,
they just think you're stupid wasting your life, so they waste their life stopping you.
We'll get into that in a second, but where I was going with that one day that I worked 3 hours, I got a letter from the state or the government, whatever. They sent me a check or whatever for $2. They took $2 out of my paycheck that I got for working one day. One day. They took $2.
So $2 per day just to be able to get paid?
That adds up. If you really think about it, that adds up,
Yeah,
man.
it fucking does. Like, every time I get a paycheck, I'm like several $100s down. It's ridiculous.
It's like
fucked up.
It's just like
bullshit.
the idea.
I don't
of it
get
is
paid
just
weekly, by the way.
I get some of your check because I am a government. Like, can I just name myself government
'Cause
and
I
just
own
walk
you.
around and go like, can I have some of your check? I promise, I'm gonna help.
It's
build
gonna
a
do
road.
you good.
Like
Yeah.
later,
It's gonna go
on.
towards things you'll love.
I
You know, like
promise.
armies.
I'm gonna bomb brown children across the river. Just give me half your check.
Oh, and don't
okay?
forget the welfare horse. We're
Yes,
funding
and we have
them.
to pay for the people who are alcoholics who refuse to get jobs.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
help out society.
Fuck yeah, government.
You know,
America.
Spread the seeds of wealth.
Yeah.
There's just so much great stuff in
Socialism.
this country. Like,
Oh my
like,
God.
What?
It's just so unnatural, and I hate it. Like I
Fucking joke.
there's some people that I look at every day, and I'm just like, why are people giving money to you to keep on living this life? Like,
Why am I
you're-
supporting you?
Yeah, like I would not want to give you my money. You're
no,
un-
why don't you
untrustworthy.
get a job?
Like when you walk down the street and you see someone who's just like is going to like you ask them if they want something to eat, maybe like because I believe in private charity. Like you say, oh, do you want? They say no. I just want money, and then like you say no, I'm not gonna give you any money.
Okay,
Like,
one
but
time-
it's different because they're taking taxes off and they don't give you that choice. They're just saying, oh, like give us that money, and we're gonna decide what we're gonna do with it for you.
yeah, I
Congrats-
don't like
hug
giving
me.
that responsibility to other people.
It's-
I don't want to.
I learned at Vermont Freedom and Unity Festival. I want to ask you all too, just like, what was your first encounter with like either police or law enforcement or government officials that made you say, you know what, fuck the government?
Oh, I
I really want to know.
Oh,
I've
really?
already
But
gone
before,
over-
but before that,
maybe I didn't. I was trying to think whether or not I already discussed
Wait,
this in
if
the
you
first
think
Can we
episode.
start this
Something
now?
else.
Because you just brought it up, and I don't want to forget
okay,
it.
well you go, Ellen. What was your first?
Okay. So like growing up, my mom had, like got pulled over constantly, so I already had this bad vibe from the police. But like the one time that really made me say like, oh, these people are not good was I was driving somewhere with my grandfather, and he was a part-time policeman at Lake Odessa, and he was pulled over for not wearing a seatbelt because it's illegal in Michigan to drive without wearing a seatbelt. And the policeman, he was like, license and registration. So my grandfather opens up his wallet and he's flipping through it, and he just accidentally flashes his badge. And the police officer's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were a police officer. It's on the camera. You know, you had a beige seatbelt and a green sweater, so it's really obvious. I'll just write you this ticket just to say I did. But on the day of your court date, I just will be on vacation. Which was basically telling him, like, oh, you're getting off scot-free. Because if the police officer doesn't show up, then
you win.
It just, yeah, you win. It's over. So, like, that just made me think, you know, why is there two planes of existence now where, like,
Yeah.
there's some people that have to follow the law, but some people that
Who
don't?
don't.
Because some animals are more equal than others on
And
the
my
farm.
grandfather was not a good person. Like, he was an awful alcoholic, you know, and nobody knew this about him. So it was just like, how idiotic are you? Like, how bad of a judge are you that you can't tell that he's hungover most days? You know?
It's not that they can tell. It's just that they hold themselves to a higher standard of being. They're like, well, it doesn't matter if you're drunk, just if everyone else is. Like,
Yeah, it's
Well-
like, well, we don't want to punish our cop buddies because, like, you know, they form a squad.
Because
They're inseparable.
'cause
They're like
badges grant
Teenage
extra
Mutant Ninja
rights.
Turtles.
but you know what I think is hilarious? Like, recently, like, the people are starting to see, like, that this system, something is wrong with it. They're starting to see that police are assholes.
I hate going onto Facebook and seeing all the feeds like, police kills dog, police shoots innocent girl sleeping,
Exactly.
police
Like,
shoots innocent man,
They're-
police strangles.
They're starting
you know,
to
like,
see it
all this
because
stuff.
social media is like our way to the future. Like, that's how the rebellion is gonna start. It will be documented. Like, people are gonna see. Like, even in New York, like, they wanted to ban Twitter because people are rallying together.
What?
Like, just off Twitter, yes, to form riots.
That's kidding. No, you've got to be kidding me.
no,
Like,
no,
that's
I'm not.
not-
We can't
You
have
can't
people
do that.
formulating their own opinions.
the
Shit.
thing is, like, people are always going to find a way to have that technology and like
Exactly.
access as much information as possible. And it's really easy in this day and age, so you can't really stop it.
Yeah.
There's no way that you can stop anybody from like seeking out what they want to
No.
find.
And these police officers are like, it's just funny how they try to counteract it. Like, then you see these videos, oh, police pulls over a woman and gives her an iPad. Like,
We handed
so you
out
didn't
Christmas
murder
presents.
someone today. Like, is that what you're saying? Is that what you're trying to tell me? That, like, oh, we don't murder someone one day, so we should exist. Because we pulled over this
And it's
woman
not
and
like
gave
it was
her
a
an iPad.
random act of kindness. Like
It
today when I got
wasn't.
stuck in a snowbank, I had some nice guy come shovel me out. Didn't see any fucking police officers to come help me out.
And
they
they
were out
wouldn't-
pulling people over for going like 5 miles over the speed limit.
Exactly. They
Thanks.
wouldn't help you. They've got
Thanks.
money to make.
Obviously.
They can't be, you know, the knight in shining armor.
Of course not. I've never had a cop help me.
And if they did stop, they'd be like, "Where's your license and registration? Are you insured? You're blocking the road. You need to get out of the road or we're going to tow you." Do you have drugs in your
Well,
car? Can I
Thank
search
you for your service.
Speaking of towing, I don't think this is the first incidents where I realized, like, well, maybe it was, that I realized that, you know, these people aren't like shit, you know what I mean? I was telling Ellen earlier, I don't know if I told you, but it was one night, I was still in Georgia, I just turned 18, and we're going to a club in Atlanta, and we're like driving from my small town of Athens, and a cop pulls us over and asks us for like license, registration, if we have insurance or whatever. And so the woman I'm with, she hands this to him, and he like goes to search it and whatever. And he was like, I see this company, but I don't really know it, and I think you faked this. He just goes like, I think you faked this.
So
And,
we
like-
didn't even search it in the computer?
Like, I think he did, and he's seen the company, but he said that he thought that we just like faked it. To say, like, I don't know. This is the most bizarre shit
Wait, faked
ever.
what?
Like, that we have
The insurance slip. Because when you
Yeah.
have insurance on a car, you get the
Oh.
paper slip.
Yeah.
Okay, I
That's
see.
your proof
He
of insurance.
he thought that we faked it. I don't really understand. It's like 2 a.m. because we were like getting ready, and like we said, like it takes a long time for us to get ready. So we finally leave to go out at like 2 a.m. And this cop pulls over, checks the insurance. He's like, I think you like this is a forgery or whatever. And he was like, so I'm gonna have to tow your car.
Maybe
We're
he was
like-
more suspicious because you look nice.
This guy didn't even look at. I don't know what. Let me just finish. So he's like, oh, I don't think you have insurance, and we're like, are you serious? Like, we're from a small town in Athens, is what we said. Like, and our insurance is from there, from a small private company. He's like, we know you don't know it because you're from Atlanta and it's bigger, and he just goes, oh, like, I mean, if it is real, we'll see, and you can get your car out of the impound or whatever.
So after
my
he tows your
God.
car,
Yeah,
That's
so
when you
it's
can
like
find
Guilty
out.
until proven innocent.
it's like 2 a.m. in the morning, like in the middle of nowhere, and it's this dude, and he's like, and we're like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, we're in like high heels, and like it's Georgia, so like barely any clothes, and it's just like we're going like to a party, like we're not from here. Like, are you really gonna fucking tow our car? We're not
Oh
hurting
my
anyone.
god, I have a
He-
similar story.
He
when you're
goes,
done.
yes, get out of the car right now.
oh my gosh,
And
that's
like,
ridiculous.
He calls the tow truck and he tows our car and just leaves us on the side of the road. Like,
How
luckily,
can he do that?
Yep.
luckily we're hot and we accept catcalling. because a couple guys pulled over and offered us a ride back. And then the next day, this fucker calls us and goes, "Oh, I'm really sorry. Like, I see now that your insurance is real."
Oh my gosh.
Did he
it
make
took
you
him
pay to
so
get your car
long.
out of the impound?
Yes.
Fuck.
And he
How
was just
much?
like,
How much did
it was
he
like
charge you?
$500.
Oh my god.
And he was like, oh, he was just basically like, "Oh well."
What a fucking prick.
Well,
Like,
he
oh,
has
well,
he has
like,
no interest in
he-
your well-being.
He put like 3 women, like young 18-year-olds, like out of the car in the middle of nowhere. We're crying, mind you. We're fucking crying because we're like, what the fuck are we gonna do? Like, we're in the middle of nowhere at 2 a.m. Like in the middle of a fucking highway. Just like this guy just towed our car, and he fucking calls and says, "Oh well, sorry, my bad."
Oh
my
my
B.
goodness. How far did
hope
you
you
And
have
he
to
$500.
thought
walk?
it was good enough that he called too.
No,
That's
not
a-
if you're paying for his mistake.
He thought it was
Exactly.
good enough that he called. I was like, you can literally go fuck yourself. Like, that's literally what I thought.
I would have gone to the impound, called this fucker back, and said, "If you're so sorry, then you can back up your words with your actions and pay for my goddamn car to come out because
That's-
this is bullshit."
But that goes against Georgia because that's exactly what I said we should do. And they were like, "Oh, I don't want to start in trouble. Blah, 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 blah. Bullshit,
Start
bullshit,
Fuck
any
bullshit."
that.
trouble?
It's-
What?
Exactly.
Rebel.
They're indoctrinated into the fact that they believe that government is really doing what's best for them.
Oh my god, I make them work for their money, man. They're stolen.
I just try to
money,
stay away from them
paychecks.
as much as possible.
Oh well, I avoid them, but if I have to encounter them, I'm totally giving them as much shit as I can.
Really? So you're brave about that too? Like you have no fears?
Yeah, I feel it completely necessary. I'm not just gonna roll over it. Like, no, they need to know their place with me, you know? Like, we're on the same level. I don't give a shit if you have a badge or not. I really don't care. Like, the last cop that pulled me over and gave me a ticket and said, "Oh, well, I'm giving you a break, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, all right, well, I'll see you in court because this is not a break. This is still $100 that I don't fucking have. So, see you in court, and I'm going to take a few hours out of your day.
Yeah.
At
I
the
guess.
very least.
I guess if you're lucky and you say the right words, then they'll like wave
Not
the magic
shoot
wand.
you in the face.
Yeah.
What do you
and like
mean?
say, "Oh yeah, never mind. You don't have to pay
Surprise.
this. Thanks
Well,
for wasting your time."
I did not
Well,
shoot
first-
you in the face. It would never be like that. Like, they're lucky that you didn't shoot them. That is their thought concept. Like,
Right. My first instinct is to be polite, you know? Like, if you treat them like, they're kind of like dogs, you know? If they do bad, you reprimand them, and if they do good, you reward them, you know? So, treat them like human beings. Make it clear, be assertive, but not an asshole. If it comes to you having to be an asshole because they're being an asshole, then, like, I still feel like you should try and be as polite as you can while you're doing this. It's a very fine line that you've got to walk. Like,
Yeah, you can't make any like spiteful gestures because then they're just gonna
right,
pull
you
out the
can't
authority
be,
card.
you
and
can't just
be
be an
like,
asshole.
"Okay,
You can't just be
I'll
like,
handcuff
fuck
you now."
you.
it just
Yeah.
it depends on who you are. Also, like if I tried to pull some shit like that in New Hampshire, like being as black as I am, I'd be dead. Like I'd be just dead, and I sincerely
What if
believe
you had a
that.
camera? What if you had a camera?
We always videotape the cops. Like, if you guys probably can't see, but Robert Mathias is in the studio. You can go look at some
We
of his
have an
cop-
audience. We have 2 people
We
in
have
the
2
audience,
people.
including, well, 3, including Ash.
First
Ash
live
the
audience?
Siren.
Ash Studio Cat.
Woo!
So we always get pulled over, and we almost, because Rob has a big, like, the cops hate him and his car, the Bitmobile.
What?
The Bitmobile.
I've been pulled over with him at least 3 times, I think now, and that's not even all the times he's been pulled over, and we always videotape them. And like, I admit the first time I was like a little nervous. I was like, what is this cop doing? And I held the camera on, and I was like shaking, but I was still holding the camera. And then the second time I was like, this dickhead. Like, literally, we were in our driveway, like just like about to park, and he fucking pulls us over because our sticker. Like, not because we're hurting anyone or he's not doing any actual like police work. He's just like, let me
fucker's
pick on an easy target. Yeah, he was bored. He was like, this isn't blues. Like,
That's why I got pulled over. Sitting on the highway at like 1 in the morning. The dude was fucking bored. He saw a young, fairly attractive girl in a red car. Go get her. Like, go get her, Tiger.
Like, they're
is
bored.
what went through his mind.
And I don't fucking give a fuck to film them anymore. Like, yeah, I'll film them. And if you, like, try to do something, I fucking wish, I hope. So everyone, so this can be on film, and the world can just see how one more fucked up guy in a blue suit and a badge thought he was so high in authority that he could, like, impose violence on me.
As
Just
George Carlin once said, "You are a prick in a hat."
Like, that's it.
Yeah, people need to know about that. Like, I don't know why so many people respect the police. It's not like they're trying to hide all the violence.
It's because they've been taught to
create.
believe that they're doing, like, what's good for you. But next time you get pulled over by a fucking cop, like, you sit and think how you were hurting anyone and anyone was, like, hurting you and how they fucking just
because
ruined your life
You
for
pay
an
into
hour.
the system, and you're part of the system. Like, if you're not following the rules, then, you know, nobody's going to support you.
Like, people think this shit isn't the Hunger Games or whatever, but what do you think those movies are about?
So
They're not, like, hyperbole. Well, I guess they are, in a way.
to our viewers and
more like
listeners at
metaphors.
home, I want you to think about how you feel next time you have a cop driving behind you. Do you feel protected? Do you feel a little safer with the cop driving behind you, or do you feel
Scared.
Do you feel like
Scared.
there's a velociraptor running
and
after you?
resentful?
Yeah.
Like they're a predator.
No one
and they're
ever
gonna get you.
in the
I don't
history
feel
of
safe.
ever has been like, oh yes, a cop is pulling me over. Today's the day. Or no one ever thinks, oh, I am hurting society. I should be pulled over by the police.
Well, some people, but
Well,
they're really messed up.
maybe.
Even
They're
better,
already in jail.
even better, I have gone out looking for cops to help me. Like, I was lost one night in the middle of nowhere, and I was flashing my lights frantically at people to, like, come help me because my phone was dead. So I'm figuring, like, oh, some local or a cop will drive by and, like, give me some directions, you know? No. 2 fucking cops, one Stady and one Chesterfield cop, drives by me. As I'm frantically flashing my lights, I have my hazards on. They're not going to come help me because they're not going to make any money, you know? Like, that's how they do.
I just had that, like, that just, like, flashback my memory. I don't even remember anymore.
Well, speaking of flashbacks, I had a similar experience to the one that you had where they ended up towing your car. My boyfriend at the time, this was a couple years ago, he was driving me home one night. We were out late. It was probably 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And he's going either the speed limit or like 2 miles over the speed limit. We get pulled over by this bitch cop who comes up, license and registration and proof of insurance, please, because we were in Vermont. In New Hampshire, you don't need insurance. I mean, it's still good to have, but we don't
you don't
require
need it. Come on.
They don't put you
require
in a
it.
cage if you don't have it.
Right. So he goes, well, I am moving to North Carolina in a month, so I really, and it wasn't even a month at that point. It was like within a couple weeks, so he's not going to go out of his way to buy insurance when, you know. But they ended up towing his car and left him and I out on the side of the road at like 3 in the morning. It was not quite spring yet, so it was freezing. I only had like a hoodie on, and we basically had to sit there and wait for people to come help us. His phone was near death, and the cop didn't care. Just fucking left us there
They never do.
on the side of a highway. Like, how safe
Yeah,
is that?
they're really concerned about child safety and welfare.
At that point, I
Really?
was, well, I'm still a minor, but I was like 15 at the time. Thank God she didn't ask how old I was, because at that point, that guy
Well,
and I
she
were
didn't-
not in a
luckily she
legal
didn't give a fuck.
relationship. But,
Yeah, good thing she didn't care about your safety, right?
Yeah.
right? Because even then, she would have made it even worse for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, police always do in those
So,
situations.
That's what I've done a lot of cop blocking. So I started doing it like before I even moved here, which is one of the reasons that inspired me to move here. It was like so great. And I went back to Mass. I know. Fucking Boston,
Ugh.
man. Stady Boston. And I was talking about how I cop blocked in Massachusetts. And then this guy was like, what does MAD think about you? And I was like, MAD? Mothers of angry against drunk drivers.
Mothers
What?
against drunk driving.
Mothers against drunk driving. And I was like,
okay.
well, my thing is, I don't understand how they would be mad. I'm not protesting drunk driving. Yeah, maybe they should be caught. Maybe. But, like, you're persecuting everyone with those checkpoints. Like, you're setting up a checkpoint and you're trying to catch everyone. You're not trying to do some police work and, like, see where the drunk drivers are coming. No, you're trying to set up everyone.
Yeah, it would
And-
just be more efficient if you just went after the ones that were causing trouble.
And I don't know the exact statistics, but they haven't caught anyone drunk driving. They've caught people for drugs. They've caught people for other things where they were dumb enough to get out of their cars and be allowed to be searched, but not drunk driving.
Never consent to searches ever. Just don't do it.
Well, like, not drunk driving. So it's just like the fact of what are they really after? Like, this is a revenue source for them. It's not like they're giving these people tickets or arresting these people and finding them and giving the money back to you. No, that's how they make their paychecks, people. Like,
they
come
just
on.
like take your stuff and say, pay us and we'll give it back to you.
Like, that's how they're
that's
making
their whole
money.
job.
Full-on extortion.
Yeah, that's their whole job. Like, they do that with everything, not just like
Road pirates.
Yeah.
Pirates.
I don't know. Andrew has a really great story about this, and he told it on Puke in the Gang. I think maybe it was
Are you
last
gonna
week.
plug Puke in the Gang?
Well,
right
I'm
now?
just saying he
already
has a
kinda
really great
did.
story. Like, he has one of the best police stories that I've heard firsthand. Like, I've heard a lot of good ones, like, on videos, but
Pray tell.
I'm not gonna tell you about it. You're gonna have to go find it.
Oh man. Well, you gotta
On
at least
Puke in
give
the
him a
Gang.
plug.
God damn it.
How do we find Puke in the Gang?
PukeInTheGang.com. It's easy. You
It's
just
easy.
look at the website
She's
or
making
Google
it
it.
easy for you.
Yeah.
Okay. I.
Or you can subscribe and like pay money to listen to other content, which
Like
is mostly car
us.
talk.
Like as we mentioned in part 1.
Yeah, the Seditious Sirens, and then also lots of car talk.
Yeah, that was when Robert Matthias of the Rebel Love Show, therebelloveshow.com, was on Puke in the Gang. So check them out. Shameless self-promotion.
Fuck yeah. But you know what? So part of me is like, shit, I really don't want to pay to listen to like an hour's worth of content. But at the same time, yes, I do. I do want to give money to the people who take their time to do exactly what we're doing now.
Yeah, because you
Like-
want them to have cool new material.
Yeah.
Right?
Ellen, this is how we create content, you know? Like, it takes gas money to drive out here, you know? Like, Ellen, what, you drove like an hour?
Oh yeah, I didn't drive, but yeah, I traveled an hour. If that's
Whatever. I drove like
I
an
have
hour
my
and
own
a half.
chauffeur. Okay.
I drove an hour and a half and got stuck in a snowbank. This shit is dangerous work, people.
Yeah,
I
it
know.
is.
So donate to our Bitcoin wallet at the end of this video.
We will share our Bitcoin address.
And maybe when the
whatnot.
zombie apocalypse comes, you guys can share in what stores they have.
Well, when the zombie apocalypse comes,
Can it just not?
we won't need currency. So.
But can but can it just
Survival of
not
the
though?
fittest.
Can we not?
That just reminds me of the zombie apocalypse. Reminds me of like going back to gun safety, like, and how I think that every woman should be armed and well armed.
I've never
I
even
would love
shot
to
a
be.
gun.
I have mace.
I
but, like,
hadn't.
mace is
until-
not the same.
Pedro, awesome guy. He took us to a shooting
Pedro.
range, and
Really?
me and Rob,
Cool.
and we got to shoot, and his daughter was there. Beautiful, smartest,
Yeah, I like her.
like
She's sweet.
girl.
I've heard him talk about her before.
Yeah,
She
I think
sounds
Rebecca's
so
her name.
smart.
And she's awesome. Like,
Yeah?
she can like shoot a fucking gun like it's nobody's business. And you know, when I look at her, I just think this girl is never gonna be anybody's fucking victim. Like,
Yeah, she's powerful.
Never. Like, she knows like the importance and the safety of defending herself. Like, you teach, like, that's what you should be teaching women. Like, not to be the victim. You
Yeah.
should be teaching them how to defend themselves.
Good for her.
And this, this is kind of getting into like child welfare, where I was just on another show, I think last week, Nonpartisan Liberty for All, and that was on like Blog Talk. I don't know. I don't want to plug this one that much, but the thing is, we were reading stories about kids who were walking home from the park, and they would be stopped by the police, and like they would be sent into Child Protective Services or something just for walking down the road, because apparently that's child endangerment now.
We discussed that last week.
Yes.
Check
think-
out
yeah, I
episode
think it was
2
at
for
the
that
same
story.
time.
Check out episode 2.
Surprising. We're like on cue with each other.
Plugging ourselves.
Shameless self-promotion.
But it's just, I don't know, like, where's the line going to be drawn? Because you can't always define what is a child or what they're capable of doing.
There is
Or,
only
like,
one
the
line, and it is the blue line.
Fuck that. It's decisions you want to make for your children. If it's not endangering them directly, like, first of all, it's none of government's fucking business. And second of all, it's your choice that you make on the maturity of your kid. It's not about age. It's about maturity. Like, and you can see that for yourself. It's not something someone needs to tell you.
It's not an arbitrary number. It is not an arbitrary number. It is not an arbitrary number. This is not a form of brainwashing.
This is not a cult. This is not a cult.
Although we drank the Kool-Aid, though.
We drank some Smirnoff.
Yeah,
We drank the sangria. Cheers, ladies.
It is not sangria. It is strawberry Bellini.
Well, at least it's not box wine. We gotta keep it classy in here, you know?
That's true. This has a
Hold
lot more
up.
sugar in it.
Hold up. What's wrong with box wine?
It's
Okay.
just, it tastes bad. is
Like,
all. Like,
so
it,
I-
will,
doesn't.
it will get you drunk.
I
No,
don't.
fucking
it
snobs.
will get you drunk,
I
but
don't-
it doesn't taste good. That's
It will
like the
get
only
you
thing.
drunk and it's trashy. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh my god, don't fuck yourselves. I am the cream of the crop.
It's fine.
I'm just saying, like,
I won't
glass
I
bottled
won't
wine
tread on
tastes so
you.
much better.
Cheers, man.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Good for you. Let's all drink more. That sounds like a good idea. now.
I've drank enough for this show. So as we bring episode 3, part 2 to a close, what would you like to say, Ellen? What is one thing you would like to get off your chest?
Our special guest.
Our third siren. Ellen, special siren name.
What is it?
Ellen.
Pythagorean?
Slagathor. Ellen
Pythagorean.
Slagathor.
Pythagorean theorem. Bitch.
Yeah,
Ellen
that's me.
is going to be a
'cause I'm a
recurring
square.
guest on our show, BTW.
Oh, really? I am. This is news to me. But this is good news.
I
Like
mean,
the news that
fuck.
you want to hear.
Why not? This is how Ellen and I started. Oh my god, we didn't even tell our story about how we really met.
She told. Can I
On-
tell how
I
I met
didn't-
Ellen?
I did not talk about the ALP episode that she
Oh,
was
that's
on.
how you guys
Yes.
became friends.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
How you guys fell in love. I want to
Allie-
hear it. Go for it.
Allie Havens, who was working in a local shop that I walked into one day, saw me and said, "Oh, hey, we're going to be talking about the public school system and whatnot. Would you like to come be on ALP?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, yeah!" And I'd never been on a radio show before, so I was super pumped. And I was like, "Cool, I get to talk to that Ellen girl. She
And I
looks
remember
cool."
she told me about that, and I was like, "Oh God, there's a high school student coming on our show, and this is gonna be like trying to talk to a baby." But then Renee showed up, and I was like,
Bitch.
I told
Fucking
you,
bitch.
I told you at the beginning, I was through with high schoolers when I got out of high
Because
school. It's
Ellen's
like,
predisposed to her
no,
judgments.
they're just annoying to
Ellen's
me.
a
Like,
fucking status. Get off our show. I'm just kidding.
no, I'm saying this was my mindset before I met Renee, and then like when I met Renee, I was like, she's a lot smarter than I thought. She's
I helped
actually
you
human.
grow.
Yes, you did. You taught me that not all high school students are retarded.
It's okay. I feel you though.
I don't mean to insult you at all. Like I'm trying to be
No, I
like
feel
give you a
ya.
compliment.
I feel you.
Yeah, it's just
Ellen, your compliments suck.
Well,
But anyway.
anyways, Allie ended up being sick that night, so she could not come on the show. So it turned out to be just Ellen and I, and
Yeah.
Ellen had never hosted.
oh my gosh, that was my first night hosting, and I was so nervous. I was shaking,
Oh my
and I was
goodness,
trying
it
to
was
be
great.
as optimistic as possible. I was like, "Well, let's do this," and I was like, "Which buttons do I push?" And then, like, I got it started, and I was like, "Hello and welcome," and I was like so nervous, tripping over my words. And every segment, like up until halfway through, I repeated the intro the same way, and I was like, "Oh my god, what am I doing?" And then I tried to stop, and Renee just like jumped in and introduced herself, and she's like, "And I'm Renee, a high school student." And I was like, "Okay, you can take this over because I'm so done right now. Like, I don't want to be talking anymore."
I will never forget how when the first segment ended, you and I both lifted up our hands and we were just trembling.
Yeah. It was the first for both of us, and it was a fun day.
We were babies. We were
Yeah,
and we were live.
I
This
fucking
is
hated
pre-recorded.
listening.
We were fucking live on LRN.
Yeah,
and
and
it
I
was
did not-
terrifying.
I did not enjoy listening back to it again. You know, I like every second that went by, I was like, "Oh my god, what am I saying?" And it was just like when you're that nervous, you can't think about anything. You know, like
Right.
Well, we already know how.
we got through like 2 hours though. I think wasn't it 2 hours?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where
it
can
was
we
2
find
hours.
this video?
Somewhere on the ALP
You're not
archives.
gonna give it up.
Okay, the ALP website is down, and maybe you can find it on LRN because it was on LRN then.
Which we'll be on.
I don't
don't
think
know.
the
I don't
LRN
know what
has
week it is,
archives though.
It doesn't? I thought it did.
Rob Mathias is back there shaking his head no.
He's saying no.
There are no archives.
Darn.
One would think I
Guess
would know
it's
this.
gone.
Well, we
Too bad.
Well, you can always listen to Seditious Sirens. So.
They weren't put anywhere else though. She didn't have an.
It is still on the ALP website, but we don't own it anymore, so we'd have to buy it back.
What the fuck?
I thought Allie. Okay, so I told her about this a few months
That
ago.
is gold.
No, I told her about this a few months ago, and she's like, "Oh, I own the website, but it still wouldn't connect. Like, there's some in between website that we had to bounce off of or something. I don't know, but we just can't log into it.
Well,
anymore.
with bad news comes good news. We just got our domain name. You can soon come visit us at seditioussirens.com. Which hopefully by the time this is up, it will be up, and we'll share
is
our
it?
website with you.
What is the website?
Seditioussirens.com.
.org, .us,
.org. Because
.eu.
we want it. It's not for profit. We just really want to get the information out there.
It's .com, man. Seditioussirens.com.
You want infinitely repeatable episodes of Seditious Sirens,
Well,
like out there
hopefully.
on the internet.
On the interweb.
You want like everyone to see this?
Dude, we are podcast babies. We don't know what we're doing. This isn't even a podcast yet. I don't even know what we're doing.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
We're not doing
It's a
anything.
live
I'm
recording.
considering this your fault.
Don't down our show, man.
Well, we're getting there. It's not like we're not going to get better. It's okay.
And we've decided the podcast
Everything
already.
changes,
so
right?
soon
Oh,
you can
episode
find us
5
on podcast.
It's going to be a podcast.
So we're gonna plug episode 5 and episode 3
in advance.
in advance.
Check this out in the future when it'll be
Motherfucker.
out, and this will be all trippy and shit. What? All right. Well, with that fuckery, let's.
Everyone is on drugs.
Really? You guys are on drugs?
I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't know how,
Alcohol is a drug,
but I appear to be the
Renee.
soberest out of all of you right now.
Alcohol is a drug, and I need you for you to know that.
So is
Oh
nicotine.
my god.
Alcohol and nicotine. You're the most lethal drugs here. Like, come on, man. Anyway, so we figured out where Ellen has came from. So you can find me and Renee Kate Freelove. Our next episode, I guess, right, will be in ISFLC.
Yes. Will it be by the time this episode?
Yeah, it's like February now. When is Valentine's Day?
For like,
I think it's in
not
like
for
2
2
weeks. Sit here.
You don't know what ISFLC is?
No.
International Students for Liberty Conference.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just dumb. I do know what you're talking about. And I actually had a friend that I graduated with, and he's like one of the regional leaders for Students for Liberty, and he's going to this thing in Washington.
We're going.
And
That's where we're going.
he always invites me to go.
You
but
should go. Everyone's going. This is gonna be the
I'd
greatest.
have to take vacation
event.
time off and like make the travel.
Now is the time. Besides
I'm
Liberty
gonna
Forum,
have to
which
do
is gonna be
everything.
great.
I'm gonna save my time
Everyone's-
for Pork Fest.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
save
that's
my
true.
time.
Okay, I can't argue with that. Porkfest is the most important.
I just like to give Ellen shit.
Yeah, all the time.
Don't
That's
give
fine.
Ellen shit.
I'm already
What?
full of it. My eyes are
d-
brown.
We mutually. Ha!
Wow.
Well, anyways.
So I guess our episode is coming to a close.
Oh.
But
All right, goodbye.
no, you can just say goodbye. You know what you have to say.
So how does this work?
Do I have to plug
That's
you?
not how any of this
You
works.
have to plug us.
You have been listening to Seditious Sirens.
That's just gonna be a separate commercial.
Fuck
I'm gonna
yeah.
edit out. So you have to say seditious is sexy when we say it. Well,
Yeah.
first we gotta tell you where to find us. So coming to a close, you can find us at Seditious Sirens on Facebook
Woo!
and Seditious Sirens on Twitter.
Woo!
And you can find us on YouTube at
Woo!
Guess What? Seditious Sirens. And we hope you've enjoyed part 1 and part 2 of our episode.
Praise the Lord.
Praise
Jesus Christ. If that offended
I can
you,
feel the joy.
We're not a cult.
No.
we're not a cult. And you
Just
can fuck
enthusiastic.
off either way.
Yeah.
Hashtag not a cult.
Buy a jacket.
We only allow happy
Hashtag bad
people here.
jacket.
Hashtag
Hashtag
420 Blaze It YOLO swag. Any more hashtags? No? Okay. Well, we've
I'm done
told
with
you
this.
where you can find us, and our Bitcoin address is attached to the end of the episode. So feel free to donate, or if you want to send us boxes of Newports or
Yeah, I'm doing that again.
kilos of pot. Just kidding. Don't send kilos to my house. But
Don't send drugs through the mail. That's just a bad idea.
it is.
Yeah.
I'll meet you somewhere. Okay. Anyway.
Oh my god.
Meet strangers that want to give you drugs.
Drugs are expensive.
Hashtag
That should be
stranger
public
danger.
service. Like, I want this service. If you're taking my tax money, introduce me to people who can
This
sell
reminds
me
me of
drugs.
Silk Road. We are standing with Ross Ulbricht. You go, man.
I'm just saying, like, let the market speak.
Yeah.
Fair
Best way to
enough.
go.
So this has been the Rebel Mistress here with you,
And Renee K. Freelove.
and our lovely third Siren.
Alan Ball.
Find her on Facebook. Anyway,
That's
so remember,
Sedition is sexy.